Have you ever had an idea, a message, or a story that you knew could help someone, but you didn't say it out loud? Not because you didn't care, but because you thought, who am I to speak up? What if I mess things up? What if people judge me? And basically, let's be serious. Sometimes it's not just fear of judgment, it's fear of the timer. Because we know that green light means, yeah, we're in good shape, but the red light is like an eviction notice. Well, here's the truth. Your voice has power, not because it's strong, not because it's perfect, but because it can help a human being. So today, I'm not here to impress you, but I'm here to remind you that your voice matters most when you speak about your values. Because when your message is rooted in values, that's when it inspires people. That's when it gets them to take action. And that is power. Now, over the years, I've coached executives, entrepreneurs, police captains, people with real pressure and real responsibility who needed to show results. And recently, California Business Journal called me America's leading moral character speaking coach. It sounds fancy, but let me translate. It means I help good people stop sounding like they're apologizing for existing and instead have them speak like they actually believe what they're saying. So, the main message for today is that your voice has power because it can create impact you might never see. In that sense, it's kind of like electricity. So, I'll give you two short stories and then one power tool that you can use immediately. After my book, Voice of Reason, was released last year, it became a bestseller on Amazon. Whoa, thank you. Some of you bought it here on the call. But the real excitement didn't happen on Amazon. It happened on the other side of the world, where some young leaders in Burundi, Central Africa, reached out to me. They didn't even have the book, they had a PDF that they printed out and handed to about 40 different student leaders. And it didn't matter, they were having power outages that knocked them off the internet, but their conviction had more voltage than their electric grid. One leader, a doctor named Edgard, said, Mr. Robert, you helped us win the Liberty Debate Contest. Thank you. Whoa, I didn't even know that's what I did. But his words made me remember that your voice can have an impact in places that you've never even been to. So thank you for that, Edgard. Then it happened again in Brazil. A group of female leaders, the president, Letitia, said to me, Robert, at first we were so nervous we had our cameras off, but you made us flip a switch and all of a sudden start speaking. It was like there was electricity on the call. These ideas are so important. We want your book to be published down here in Brazil because there's an audience for that. And guess what? There's a Brazilian publication on the way, probably by March or April. But once again, the point here is that your words can travel to places you've never been. Somebody somewhere is waiting for a sentence that only you can deliver. Okay, at this point, you could be saying, all right, enough about you, your experience. What about me? I want to learn how I can have my voice have power. And that's what I call the power tool. It has three components. Number one is the value. You've heard me speak about that. It's kind of like a source, it's the fuel. And that answers the question, what do you stand for? In the two examples that I gave, these people live under tyrannies. And they know that one area of expertise for me is talking about liberty. But you could have other values. So that should be first focus. The second one is some kind of structure, and that's kind of like the wiring in electric circuit. Structure directs the currents and guides the audience step by step. And then the third component is the impact, which is like we saw in Brazil, flipping on the light switch. And what sparks change? What kind of change are you looking for? What motivates you? And how can you turn on the light? So when you think about speeches, you can use those power tools. Speak about values, have a structure, and find a way to create an impact. Now, if you do these three things, you can move people. And if you can move people, you can lead them. But keep in mind that without structure, even a really important message can get lost. It's kind of like having a relative who tells a story that just keeps going on and on and on, and you're wondering, when will they get to the end? So, in conclusion, when your voice generates real power, it keeps walking long after you've left the room. It keeps changing lives you might never see. Don't keep your voice trapped inside your head. Speak up. Speak with purpose. And if you want to learn more about these principles, well, that's the reason I wrote Voices of Reason. Because somewhere, somebody is waiting for a sentence that only you can deliver.